All right, so Pam Bondi's out. Pam-a-lama Ding Dong is no longer with the Trump administration, and let's talk about it. Let's figure out what's going on, why. So first off, let's just point out the fact that Pam Bondi is a boomer. Yes, she has great skin, but she's over the age of 60. She's functionally a boomer. She's elected in Florida to a statewide election, which is boomer central. There are a lot of old people there, and the truth of the matter is you win a statewide election in blood red Florida these days by just going on Fox News and agreeing with the host over and over and over again, and that's kind of how it's done. Now I'm a pretty conservative guy, but even I can admit that that's kind of how it works. Now, that is not to say that she wasn't a good lawyer, wasn't good at her job, and in fact, might be a great lawyer even, but it's just a matter of there were just too many controversies that were going on, and I think Trump is doing a little bit of cleaning house here. It's not like that's, for the most part, it's not super negative. It's just kind of, hey, time to clean house, lots going on. We need to kind of do some things, rejigger the entire system that is the Trump administration, the Trump White House. Now, we can't talk about Pam Bondi's screw-ups and reasons why she might not be in the administration anymore, or at least within a month when they transition, without mentioning the fact that she totally botched the entire Epstein file release and the prosecution, or lack thereof, and quite simply, it's just a matter of how it was done. Even if you think it's a big nothing burger, you agree with Trump, and you say, why are we still talking about this? The way she did it was so ridiculous. Again, you get to hear my phone go off. You get to watch her on Fox News, and again, it's that Florida Republican, I'm just going to go on Fox and agree with the host. Every time I think it was Brett Baer, kept asking about it. She kept basically doing like yes and. She kept going like, yeah, we got this, and we got this, and we got this. I have truckloads. I have a whole documents on my desk. Anything she could say to basically make the host like her, she was saying. And that's basically where it started off. Then you had Bindergate. You just had complete botch after botch after botch over what, for at least the more libertarian side of the voting coalition for Trump, she just botched something that was really important to that 3%, and when elections are won and lost by 3%, that's kind of a big deal. And now we're also seeing evidence, or at least accusations, that Pam Bondi might have actually tipped off the Eric Swalwell campaign about a reopening of the case into him and his activities with a Chinese honeypot spy from the CCP, named Fang Fang. So letting him know, hey, something's up, you might want to get your butt covered. They think that there's basically the accusation that she kind of didn't blow the whistle, but kind of let him know, called an audible, made him aware, or at least his campaign aware, and he's currently running for governor in California, so kind of a big deal. Although they do deny it vociferously, if that's a word. And then, of course, you have Trump's statement on truth. Pam Bondi is a great American patriot and loyal friend who has faithfully served as my attorney general over the past year. Yada, yada, yada. Super tremendous. Standard Trumpian language, all very positive. And Trump, for all his faults, he will, if he fires somebody, he'll tell you why. He'll tell you they were garbage, they were terrible, they were the worst ever, but he'll also say the opposite. So this more or less might just be a pleasantry, but it does indicate that at the very least there might not be really any bad blood here. It might just be he's really ready to reorganize the DOJ, prioritize things that aren't in Pam Bondi's wheelhouse, or it might mean that Pam Bondi's just ready to go off in the private sector. Speaking of which, Pam Bondi and Susie Wiles are both still members or associated with Ballard Partners. That's a lobbying group that tends to focus on Republican issues inside Florida. They've worked for them for, I believe, almost 20 years for Susie Wiles, and Pam Bondi joined in 2019. So they've been in this lobbying group for quite a while. This is probably the private sector work that was mentioned in Trump's tweet where Pam Bondi's headed next. She's probably just going to focus more on lobbying efforts related to various Republican-centered issues, probably more of the MAGA-centered issues if I just had to guess, but certainly Republican Deep Red Florida lobbying firm, that's what she's doing. And combine this with the fact that Susie Wiles is still part of the administration as chief of staff, and she's not going anywhere despite a cancer diagnosis. She is still very much beloved by Trump and honestly all sides. She's well respected on both the left and the right. She's not going anywhere. This would tend to indicate that there's probably not any real bad blood here, but Trump just wants to reorganize, and Pam Bondi might want the chance to not escape, but politely leave, give the Irish goodbye, and kind of just do her own thing in the private sector and make bukus of money more than likely as a lobbyist. Not shocking in Washington, or in this case, I guess, Florida, kinda. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hit the sub button, all that fun stuff. I do all kinds of stuff on this channel. I do video game stuff. I talk about patches I make. I do all kinds of fun things. But yeah, this is just some news. Enjoy, and thank you for your time.